I actually put a post up on, I think it was a couple of days ago, right, regarding this issue that I'm going to talk about now. And I thought I might as well make a video on it and actually talk about it a little bit in depth, because it is actually something that's a big issue, and it's something that is still kind of so young men are still struggling with it these days. And despite all this advice that they've got on YouTube about how to talk to women and whatever, because I do get a lot of people who ask me like, yeah, how do I talk to women? How do I get better at talking to women and stuff? And there's a massive range of things that, I've got like basically unlimited value to give and unlimited knowledge to share in terms of that field of life. Okay, that is kind of my whole thing. That's what I started this whole channel on. Okay, it's talking to women, being good at women, the art of attraction and seduction. All right, that is what I do. Okay. But I think it's best to strip this one back to the bare basics, all right? Because realistically, if it gets a little bit too complicated, I don't want you lot being one of these people that ends up having to think about loads of different things. They're like, oh yeah, I've got to remember what Sam said here and what he said here and what, you know what I mean? Like watching all these videos, watching Hamza, Andrew Tate, oh, what's this thing? He said this, I've forgotten that thing. And it becomes very overwhelming in your head. And then you become someone who's relying on kind of remembering stuff rather than being a free thinking human being, rather than being a person who's become that guy who can talk to women, all right? So I'm going to strip it back to the very bare basics, all right? If you're with a woman, and even if you're not with her, maybe you're just texting her, and you've got fuck all to talk about, all right? It's because you don't do anything. If you've got nothing, like if you don't do anything with your day, with your life, you've got nothing to talk about, have you? And it's very simple when you think about this. Like, it's a very simple concept. If you know something, right, if you have a lot of knowledge in an area, you can talk for days about it, and you can talk all the time. You can talk with confidence and conviction about it. If you don't know what you're talking about, then let's say you're doing a speech at school, right? Let's say you've prepared for this speech very well. You know what you're talking about. You can tell the whole class, right? You're gonna go up there and you're gonna talk confidently, and you're gonna talk, as if you know what you're on about, and you're gonna talk a lot for a long time. You're gonna have a lot to talk about. But then let's say the other person who hasn't prepared at all, right? He doesn't know what he's on about. He hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know about this topic, and he's not going to come across very confidently. And he's not even going to say anything. Barely. He's going to stutter. He's going to constantly having to think. He's going to look nervous. That is the same with women. If you're with a woman and you have nothing to talk about, aka your life, all right, you don't have anything interesting in your life to tell her, all right, or to talk about, you're going to come across nervous and scared, and you're not really going to have any confidence in yourself, and you're not going to even talk. You're not even going to say anything. All right. Now, I know this is a very bare basic thing, like, yeah, go and have an interesting life to attract women. It's such a basic thing, but we need to start stripping things back to the basics a little bit, rather than, because I think a lot of people get lost in all this like different knowledge that they're kind of taking in, and they're not fully like, there's a lot of different techniques and things that people use, and I don't want to go down that route. I don't want to have to throw all this information at you lot saying, use this technique, use that technique. I want you to become someone who is attractive to a woman. I want you to become this guy. I don't want you to have to start remembering certain techniques. I'm trying to push you lot becoming the most confident versions of yourself and become the most complete versions of yourself, so that then you're able to do this stuff like talk to women, you know what I mean, like that. You're able to excel in that field of life. So stripping it back to the bare basics means going and having a good life, bro. I think it's better to do that than to go, all right, I'm going to go out in public and I'm going to like cold approach at like 20 different girls. That's really not going to work, because even if you are a little bit successful with that, all right, and you end up landing a date with them or something, on that date, you're still going to have nothing to talk about, because you sit in your room playing video games all day. All right, boys? So I don't really, and this is not me trying to be a knobhead, or me trying to tell you, oh, you all got boring lives, but I'm just trying to give you this basic advice that you need to have. You need to just have an interesting life, okay? So how are you going to, a lot of YouTubers, including myself, say, oh yeah, be a little bit mysterious to girls. How are you going to do that if you've not got anything to be mysterious about? You can't be mysterious if you constantly just sit in your room all day. You can't. Or if all you do is go to work and you come back home and then you sleep. I understand a lot of you have strict schedules and whatever, but try your best to go out and just experience some life, experience the world, go and do some things, go and broaden your mind, go and learn, go and gain some knowledge, all right? Rather than you just sitting in your room all day waiting for this date to come round, and you go on this date with this girl and you're like, oh yeah, what did you do today? Because you've got fuck all to talk about. You've got a very boring kind of demeanor. You ask boring questions. The more you get out in the world, the more people you'll speak to, the more you'll learn, okay? not only will you have so much to talk about, but you'll have so much knowledge, and you'll have basic social skills, and you'll develop as a person, okay? Therefore, you're not going to be going on the date asking boring questions. You're going to come across confidently and relaxed because you've been in many social situations, so this is just another one. You'll develop as a person. It's such a powerful thing as going out there in the world and just doing stuff and just living life, okay? So, and I only briefly made a YouTube post on it, you know, stating a few little things here and there, a few little statements, a few little facts. It's a very broad, a very basic way of putting that. So I thought I might as well explain this fully and why this is so important, because I thought about it and I actually thought, that's a very important point. I think it's worth me making a full video about it, okay? Because a lot of you that go on there and you've got a lot of information in your head and you're going out in public and you're trying to talk to women this way and that way and you're trying to look at, you know, Hamza makes a lot of videos, doesn't he, where he says like, well, make sure you're looking at it this way, make sure you're using a deep voice, make sure you... And it's like, you're not really being authentic to yourself if you're doing these things. If you're trying to put on a certain demeanour and you're trying to act a certain way in front of a girl, you're just not going to come across very authentically. And it's that authentic self that a woman is attracted to. You being confident in your own skin, being confident in your own body, and embracing everything about yourself. Owning the things owning the person that you are, okay? Not being like, you know, owning your insecurities. They find that attractive because you don't give a shit. You're confident, you're comfortable in your own skin. So go out, experience the world, go out and live some life, go and gain some knowledge, go and have fun things to talk about. Put it on Instagram, all right? If you go somewhere, it doesn't matter where you go, even if you just go into a restaurant with your family, all right, in your local town, take a picture, put it on Instagram. That's something that you've done, okay? Shows women that you've got a fun life, that you do things, they want to be a part of that life. So then, you know, you don't even have to, half the time, you won't even have to say anything. If you've got a good Instagram page, right, where, you know, it's full of you doing things and you're doing activities and it shows you've got you know, it's a fun lifestyle, interactive lifestyle, okay, that where you're doing all these different activities and whatnot, and you know, pictures of you going to the gym, pictures of you on holiday, pictures of you doing all these different stuff. Women want to be a part of that because it's mysterious. It triggers all these emotions inside of them. They've got different things to stimulate them, different activities, different things to focus on, different things to think about. If you do that, then you promise, bro, half the time you'll just get random DMs from them, because it's just like, you know, obviously I have a girlfriend now, so I don't. This is not me saying that I go and get a million DMs from girls and I go and I answer them all. No. Obviously, I'm committed now. I'm in a relationship. But that came from me having an interesting lifestyle. If I wasn't interested enough, would have never got a girlfriend in the first place. Do you understand that? If you're boring, women just don't want to be a part of it. All right? They want to get to know you as a person. And if you're a boring person, it just ain't going to happen for you, bro. So don't worry about your money, all right? Spend a bit of money. Spend a little bit of money on doing fun things, going out with your friends, going out with your family, whatever it might be, all right? Just have interesting things to talk about. Do goofy shit. Stop thinking all the time about embarrassing yourself. If you can embarrass yourself, bro, and own that, and, you know, be confident enough to own that shit and not be embarrassed about it, that's another very attractive trait. Showing that you don't give a shit. Showing, yeah, I'm confident in my own skin. Being generally confident is just an attractive thing, all right? This is what it all boils down to, is confidence in yourself. Conviction in yourself, in your own abilities. Going out and experiencing the world means you'll gain knowledge, you'll gain experience, you'll gain skills, you'll grow as a person, you'll have things to talk about, you'll have stories to tell. That gives you so much confidence in yourself that you've gone and done those things. And it naturally comes off, all right, when you're in these interactions with women, and not even just with women, just people in general. And then people want to be friends with you, people want to hang around with you, you're a fun person to be around, you're an interesting person. It's so overlooked. It's just is this concept of going out and experiencing the world and just doing things and just living a good life. People say you have to be all like, oh yeah, to attract a woman, you have to have you have a really disciplined lifestyle. You have to go to the gym every morning at this time, and you have to eat clean, you have to not go out, and you have to do your work constantly. And trust me, don't get me wrong, bro. I heavily, I'm all for that. I'm all for you having a bit of a grind period of your life where, maybe you want to get up every morning, you have a routine, and you want to go to the gym and you want to do your work. I get that, but take some time out in your life to enjoy yourself a little bit and to go and live some life so you've got some things to tell. At the end of the day, bro, life is about experience, and life is about enjoying the time that we have on this earth. And if we're not enjoying the time we have on this earth, and we're not experiencing the world, and we're not enjoying the processes we go through, then why the hell are we even on this earth in the first place? You're not going to waste your entire life, are you? Not enjoying it, just to build yourself up, to build your good physique and try and attract women. Okay? If you just detach yourself from the external results of trying to attract loads of women and instead focus on your own life and instead just enjoying yourself and not worrying about things all the time, you'll get so much further and you'll have a more enjoyable life as a result. So it's a win-win. All right, bro? I hope that was helpful for you. And yeah, bro, just go live some life. I'll see you in a bit.